I hope you are not overwhelmed today, okay, yes. But I'm just going to give a very short, crispy session this time, okay? Okay, so once again, touch the leg. Now, I want you to look at this whiteboard and you can get some idea what I'm going to do in this session, okay? Things you have to keep in mind when writing a descriptive writing, okay? So, what should I say? My session is on descriptive writing, and I'm going to, what should I say, share some examples, okay? Yes, from the internet, and we will do this. Now, before that, I want you to, what should I say, keep in mind some important things. Now, since we are describing, okay? I'm sorry, okay, we describe. In the descriptive writing, basically we describe. What are we describing? We are describing a person, we are describing a thing, we are describing a place, or we are describing a memory. So I told you, when you are describing all these things, it's important for you to expand your vocabulary. You have to expand your vocabulary. Okay, yes. Now, in the descriptive writing, what are we touching? Basically, we are touching all the senses. Okay, so all the senses. For example, here, what are you hearing? What you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch. Okay, so we are basically touching all these sensory, okay, senses, hear, see. Now, when I say you have to expand your vocabulary, what I'm talking is you have to try to expand, what should I say, all the words related to these. Okay, hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, and touching, all these things. Okay, yes. So I want you to develop this kind of, what should I say, this skill. Okay, yes. Now I'm going to show this in the, what should I say, that internet. Okay, yes. Let us all try to see. Words really. Okay, for example, this one. The words related to here. Okay, yes. Yes, for example, okay, yeah. So if you are interested in expanding your vocabulary, for example, this one here, I have written words related to here. Now, if you do like this, then you will get some more idea what are the words related to here. So, in this way, you can expand your words. Okay, yes. For example, one more. Okay, now if you know the word dirty, okay, yes, dirty, or for example, beautiful. Now, if you keep on writing the word beautiful again and again, now your writing would not look beautiful. So, what do? You just try to find the synonym of beautiful. Okay, yes. So, you see, if you try to find the synonym of beauty, there will be so many words here. So, instead of using the word synonym beautiful again and again, why don't you try one of these words? Okay. Now, this is what I mean by expanding your vocabulary. So, all the words related to hear, see, smell, taste, touch. Okay. Now, this is how you expand your vocabulary. Okay, this will be very helpful in the descriptive writing. Okay, yes. And in the descriptive writing, what you have to keep in mind, you have to keep in mind this figure of speech. Now, what is a figure of speech? Figure of speech is a language which has got different meaning. Okay, yes. Now I will give you just example. Okay, yes, figure of speech. So in our writing, we have to use different types of figure of writing, figure of speech, and in other terms, we also say literary devices. Okay, yes. For example, my mother is very kind. Now this is a simple sentence. My mother is very kind. Okay. Did I use any figure of speech? No. Okay. Yes. Now I want you to look at another sentence having the same meaning. My mother is like Mother Teresa. Okay, yes. My mother is like a Mother Teresa. Now the meaning same. Okay, what I'm trying to say, that my mother is very kind. But I here in the second sentence I use a figure of speech. So when I say my mother is like a Mother Teresa, so I'm just comparing. Okay, yes. The readers may everybody understand who Mother Teresa is. Mother Teresa is very kind. Okay, was very kind. So my mother is like Mother Teresa means here I have used a figure of speech. I'm not saying that my mother is Mother Teresa, but comparing. Okay, so you see it has got a different meaning. So you have to make best use of this figure of speech. You got it? For example, my office is like my home. So did I use figure of speech? Yes, my office is like my home. So there is no difference between office and home. Okay, how comfortable you feel in home, that same comfortable feeling of you feel comfortable in the office. So that's why my office is like my home. So I have used the figure of speech. Okay, so figure of speech plays very important role in in your writing. So you should know, you have to keep this in mind, figure of speech. Now this is, what kind of figure of speech is this? This is a simile. I'm just comparing. Okay, yes. I can use other examples also, figure of speech. Okay, yes. For example, the school gate gave a smile and welcomed me. Okay, now suppose this very soon lockdown will be over, everybody will be going back to the school. So when the students come back to the school after so many months, then obviously the school gate gave me a smile and welcomed me. So actually school gate is not a human being, someone who will give smile and a welcome. But here what did I use? I use a figure of speech. Now this is how your writing becomes more appealing to the readers. So my school gate gave me a smile and my school gate welcomed me. Okay, this is a sentence. I have used figure of speech. Now if you ask what figure of speech did I use here, I use the personification. Okay, you already know, and you will also learn this figure of speech later words. Okay, my school gate gave me a smile. So I am just giving the human quality. Okay, these are the human qualities, welcome and smile. I am giving all these qualities to an inanimate object. This is inanimate. This is not a human being. Okay, so I am giving all this quality to an inanimate object. So this is figure of speech. So when you write, it's important for you to also keep in mind the figure of speech. You expand your vocabulary, all these things. Okay, yes. Now let us go back to the examples. Okay, yes. So I told you descriptive writing, there are so many types. Okay, you can describe your you can describe about your memory, you can describe about a place, you can describe about your person or a thing. so many things. Okay, now today let us try to read, go through one poem written by the poet and activist Tenzin Sunderlal. Okay, so I'm sure you have gone through his poems. Okay, now let us try to look at one of his poems, which I think it's a good example of how a descriptive writing, okay, looks like. Okay, yeah, this is a poem. Okay, now he describes about the rainfall, okay, in Dharamsala. So let us try to see. When it rains in Dharamsala. Okay, yes. Yes. So if you are interested in reading Tenzin Sunderlal poem, he has got his own website, tenzintsuntu.com. Okay, yes. So let us try to go through this poem and see whether it's a good descriptive poem or not. Okay, yes, this is the poem. When it rains in Dharamsala. So I'm just going to read 2-3 stanzas, and if you're interested, you can go to that site and then you can read the poem. Okay, yes. When it rains in Dharamsala. When it rains in Dharamsala, raindrops were boxing globes. Thousands of them come crashing down and beat my room. Under its tin roof, my room cries from inside and wets my bed, my papers. Now, if you look at this particular stanza, okay, yes. Now, if you look at this poem, I mean, I just want to say that this is a free verse. Okay, yes, we don't follow particular rhyming words or rhyming scheme. So we know that a poem which does not follow any rhyming pattern or rhyming scheme, we call it, we consider it as a free verse. So when it rains in Dharamsala, now Tenzin Sunderlal was just describing, okay, yes, a very vivid, and anybody who reads this and anybody who had never been to Dharamsala during the monsoon season, especially when it rains, can literally see, okay, the rainfall in Dharamsala, how rainfall in Dharamsala looks like. Okay, yes. So when it rains in Dharamsala, raindrops were boxing globes. So you see boxing globes, okay, come thousands of them and come crashing down and beat my room. Under its tin roof, my room cries from inside and wets my bed, my papers. You see, so he was just describing, and you can vividly picture all these things. Okay, now he had beautifully painted the picture of Dharamsala, especially during the rainy season. Okay, I'm sure those who are in Dharamsala, we can easily relate to this small piece of writing. Sometimes the clever rain comes from behind my room. The treacherous wall lifts their heels and allow a small flood into my room. So you see the flood, the picture. So it's also imagery. He has used extensive use of imagery. That not the ordinary words, but the words which will help us to imagine. I sit on my island nation bed. Okay, you see an island. Okay, look at the vivid description, how his room looked like when it rains, okay, and watch my country in flood, notes on freedom, memos of my prison days, letters from college friends, crumbs of bread and Maggie noodles rise sprightly to the surface like a sudden recovery of a forgotten memory. Okay, yes. So if you go through, it's a long poem. I'm not going to take much time. So if you get time, I highly recommend you to go through this and just to see whether this is a good example of descriptive writing, okay, or not. Okay, so there is thing when it rains in Dharamsala. So right now in Dharamsala we are having a rainy season. You can also try writing one small poem where you are going to describe the scenery, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, all these things. Okay, so you can also try this. This is just an example of how your descriptive writing look like. Now let us take another example. Those who are in class 7, do you remember one poem from your textbook, The Shed? Okay, now if you look at this poem, you will know that the poet has described how his shed looked like. Okay, yes. So I'm sure you all have done this, but for the sake of example, I'm going to go through this, the shed poem. Okay, the shed. Let us see where the shed. Okay, now here it is. Okay, yes. If you get time, you can also go through this poem. Okay, shed. By the way, what is a shed? So shed is a small house away from your main, where we put so many things. Okay, yes, wood or some worn out clothes. It's just like a storeroom. Okay, now let us see how the poet explains his shed, how his shed looked like. Okay, yes, the shed. There is a shed at the bottom of our garden with the spider's web hanging across the door. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. When I am in bed, I lie and I listen. I will open that door one day. Okay, yes. So if you look at this first stanza, yes, he's just describing. You see, so there are so many words related to seeing. For example, you see the spider web hanging across the door, you see the hinges getting rusty, and you also have the word which is related to your hearing, creak. Okay, the rusted things, when the wind blows, it will produce so many strange sound. Okay, for example, creaking sound like this. Okay, yes. Now go to the second stanza. There is a dusty old window around at the side with 3 cracked panes of glass. I often think there is someone staring at me each time that I pass. I will peep through that window one day. My brother says there is a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floorboards. And if I ever dare to set foot inside, he will jump out and chop my head, but I will take a peek one day. Okay, now in the second stanza also, you will see a vivid description of the shed. Okay, look at the window. Okay, not just a dirty window, but he was trying to give us some imagery. Okay, there is a dusty old window. So you see the window was filled with dust. Okay, yes, so that is imagery. Okay, that the figure of speech around the side with the 3 cracked panes of glass. So you see, he was trying to be very specific. Okay, not just talking about the glasses, but he has just counted the cracks in the window panes. Okay, okay, yes. So this is just an example of how the descriptive writing look like. Okay, I've just given you an example of Tenzin Swintula's poem, When It Rains in Dharamsala, and from your class 7 textbook, The Shed. Okay, yes. So basically we have already completed, okay, how the descriptive writing looks like, and I've also told you the things that you have to keep in mind when you write a descriptive poem or small write-up like this. I also talk about the figure of speech, which is very important, okay, which you can also use in your descriptive. So I told you I'm going to take a very short and crispy session. So with this, I've come to the end of this session, and I wish you a very good afternoon. Thank you all.